All right, here we are, Impact and Influence Radio, right here on Opera, and today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689, or blindsofsacramento.com. Now, today, we've got a gentleman in here that, what's actually funny is... when I met him at one of the local events, he was like, yeah, I'm a local DJ. I was like, cool, we'll get you on here. Then he comes and tells me who he really is, and I go, why didn't you start with that at the event? So we're going to be talking about that. Mr. David Schulte. Mr. David Schulte, how you doing, brother?
Doing great. You nailed it.
Do people call you Schultz from time to time?
People call me everything. I get DJ, I get Dave, I get David, I get Schulte, I get Schultz. I kind of get it all, but I know who you're talking to. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be talking about Schulte Sounds, your company. And before we really dig into that, who are you? Who is David?
Yeah, I'm a DJ at heart. I love music. I love baseball. I guess those are my two biggest passions. I've managed to kind of make those into a living, which is kind of incredible, but I'm a pretty laid-back, fun-going guy, I like to think. I like skateboarding. I like kind of all the stuff that I moved to California from Iowa. Just skateboarding, surfing, snowboarding, kind of all that stuff. That's kind of who I am.
That's so funny. So you grew up, you were looking at what California was, and the first thing you did when you got off the plane was grabbed an In-N-Out burger and bought a skateboard.
Exactly. I had the skateboard already. I just needed the burger.
Is California what you thought it was based on what we watched on TV as a kid?
Yeah, and more. Because there's obviously the stereotype of California.
Did you watch Saved by the Bell?
No, that was I was a little bit too young for that.
Okay.
I'm a 94. I was born in 94. So really it's the dude, the man, and the surfing.
Did you watch the OC, the show The OC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Johnny Tsunami and those Disney Channel, this is California, But for me it was baseball is huge here. I mean, there at the time there were I think 5 major league teams. Weddings from a DJing standpoint was kind of a no-brainer. So really it was just in the environment that you can go from Tahoe and the snow to the beach.
You kind of have a Corky Romano kind of effect. Are you a Chris Kattan fan?
Yeah, of course.
Have you thought about getting into acting and doing all that stuff?
I've done some theater.
You would do really well, dude.
Well, thanks, man.
You've got the personality. We own a film studio. We produce movies.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we produce mafia films, and we just bring people on and blow them up.
I love mafia movies, so that is actually...
And they're all in black and white. It's so
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're in California. We have to have a film studio.
True. But I'm just kind of learning everything, meeting new people. The vibe is excellent. People are so professionally driven and outgoing, and it's just this really awesome place. So I'm loving California so far.
How long have you been here?
A couple years. So end of 24.
We're still fooling you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm still in the honeymoon phase for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, have you been to LA yet?
A couple times. I've been to Disneyland, which is not LA.
No.
So yeah.
Have you done Beverly Hills?
No, I've been to, honestly, the big ones on the list are San Diego, Yosemite.
Cool.
Those are huge. That
San Francisco?
San Francisco a ton.
Did you do the Golden Gate Bridge?
Yep, a couple times.
Okay.
Been to Big Sur, been to Sonoma.
We do Monterey Car Week every year, so you should probably come out to that.
Absolutely.
You'd love that.
Yeah.
And then we have Ferrari Challenge coming up in July, and so that's at Sonoma.
Yeah.
And so all the Ferrari racing team and the whole thing. So you'll be out there. Well, we'll be out there. You can always join us.
Big F1 fan too, so that's
Are
awesome.
You?
Yeah.
Well, these are the challenge cars. So this year they're driving the 296s.
Nice.
And every now and again they bring the vintage cars out. One year we were out there and they had like 250 Testarossas and GTOs racing. Those are $30 million cars. They're racing them. It was nuts.
That's insane.
Yeah. No, it's so cool, dude. It's so cool. But yeah, welcome to California.
Thanks, man. Glad to be here.
I've been here almost my whole life, and it's just California. It just is what it is. We bitch about everything.
That's the thing. It's I have a couple friends who've lived here their whole life, and they were thinking about we might move to Florida, and I was like, you guys don't appreciate how good it is here. I can understand that if you've lived here your whole life, it's the same. It's it's expensive. It's this. It's that. But truly,
you got Lake Tahoe. You can go to Lake Tahoe, San Francisco, Monterey, and the desert all in one day.
Yeah, you could be home by dinner.
I know, right?
You know, like
seriously.
it's not really that big of a deal. So yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's just a super, super cool place.
Yeah.
So let's really break into what you're doing. But before you do that, you said you're a baseball fan. Who's your team?
So my team personally is the Yankees, actually.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird.
I'm a Colorado Rockies fan.
Got
So
it.
as long as we're in the National League, we're good.
We're
right?
golden.
Yeah.
My family, I'm from Iowa, so a lot of family there like the Cubs. But then moving here, like I worked with the Twins when I was in Cedar Rapids with the Colonels, which is the high A affiliate for them, before moving here with the River Cats in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So obviously big Giants fan, now I'm an A's fan, kind of just love baseball in general.
Baseball's just. What do you think of the whole umpire situation with the AI umpires?
Yeah, I think we're at a really good spot right now with where it's at with the the challenge system and the ABS, and now in the minor leagues they're kind of implementing like the check swing challenge. So there's some more coming, of course, but I think we're in a good spot now. I don't want to see the umpires go away. I love them being there.
I don't want to see the umpires go away, and I kind of digging the whole pitching clock and all this stuff. Yeah, it's super cool.
The pitch clock's incredible. I think it's really streamlined games for fans who maybe don't watch all the time, but if you're just trying to tune it in, like it's a really clean game, and it's fast, and it's not this guy stepping out of the box and changing his gloves for 30 seconds. I think that's really good. So I think we're at a really good spot right now, personally.
How do you compare baseball today to 90s baseball? Because 90s baseball was really like the heyday, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the players still to this
McGuire,
day.
Sosa.
Yes, you can't touch like what was going on.
Yeah.
And we can name still to this day. I mean, we can name like 50 players, like and just spitball 50 players.
That's the era I grew up with, so it does feel
Griffey
a lot different.
And McGriff and
Exactly.
all those. Man.
Jeter was huge for me growing up. But you look at those guys with the steroids, and like the bat looks like a toothpick in their hands.
I know.
So like that we've kind of gotten away from. You've got a lot more like fast, 5'7", 180 regular dudes.
Yeah.
So I think that's been good. That like speed is up, stolen bases are up.
Mookie Betts is like super cool. Mookie Betts is like the modern day Henderson, even though nobody will ever replace Henderson.
Right, absolutely. I kind of love it. I think it's very different compared to the 90s, in that like just the kind of tough, dirty, scrubby, like baseball player is a little different now, I feel like.
Yeah, the 80s was a very interesting thing. Like the guys were like 25 and they looked like they were like 45.
Been through some stuff.
They looked horrible, bro. I mean, they had the facial hair, their skin was bad, they were all balding and everything. And you look at the guys now and they're like beautiful.
They're all models now.
I know.
Yeah,
like seriously.
their hair is perfect.
I know. I met A-Rod at the Celebrity Golf Tournament last year, 2 years ago. We were shooting a movie out there, and A-Rod was out there, and you meet him, and he's like a god.
Yeah.
He's freaking gorgeous.
He's literally
dude.
like a god. Yeah,
you know,
like golden.
And he was just at the time he was just breaking up or had just divorced with J-Lo.
Okay.
And so it was. I guess it's been about 3 or 4 years now. And so I'm just thinking to myself, like, this dude had freaking J-Lo. Like, holy crap,
Well,
bro.
his thing is staring at himself in the mirror. That's like his thing.
Is it really?
So he knows how beautiful he is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mess around.
Well, so
kind of ridiculous.
Then you have a local guy here who's Judge.
Judge is
He's
kind
a
of
local guy.
Yeah, from the from the Bay Area.
Yeah, he was with Turlock or something, right?
Grew up a big Giants fan. So he came back last year for the Yankee series. The Yankees are going to be back in town at the end of May, so they'll play the A's again. So yeah, Judge is kind of on a different level as far as like who he is, what he does.
But he's still massive.
He's huge.
He's like 6'9".
He's a tight end, He's massive. Yeah.
So let's get into what you do. What do you do, my friend?
Yeah. So the Schulte Sounds thing is my primary business. Schulte Sounds is a wedding DJ business that I primarily do weddings from, between 40 to 50 in a year I like to do. So really throughout the summer, Fridays, Saturdays, I'm doing weddings. And then a lot of times Monday through Thursday, I'm doing baseball. I'm playing the music for the River Cats and the A's, and doing some announcing for them as well. So when the River Cats are in town, I'm announcing the players, kind of calling up, them as they walk up. reading some scripts here and there. But then with the A's, I'm primarily DJing in the game. So I'm playing the walk-up songs. I'm playing the funny song when the guy strikes out for the other team. When the manager's getting thrown out for the other team, I kind of make fun of him. So like, I'm really kind of locked in on every single pitch.
How does that work? You have like a TV up there and you're watching the game?
I'm staring right at the field. So I'm kind of in one of those booths, you know, behind home plate, looking directly at the field. There's a producer in front of me that's calling out things. There's, you know, the PA announcers in front of me. So we're all kind of a team working together, you know, making sure every one of us is on top of it and knows if there's a pinch runner coming up or if, you know, whatever change is going to happen. But really the biggest thing is just making sure that the fans are having a good time in the ballpark. There's not this, you know, rigid, I got to do this thing because it's the thing we do I want every day to feel different. You might come to 2 games back to back as a fan. And I don't want it to sound like the same game. You know, I want it to be different. And
yeah, I'm a Rockies fan. My wife's a Giants fan, so we go to Rockies Giants games, and it's the same thing for me every time we lost.
Yeah, fair. The Giants aren't doing too good either right now, so I get that. And those are the games where I kind of
we were losing one time, and my wife and I, we were like, let's go ahead back to the car. It's like the 8th inning, and so we're walking back to the car. We hear cheering, and we're like, oh man,
something happened.
Oh, this is so bad. So I'm walking to the car and I tune in on my phone and I just go to Google, you know, and I pull up the game. And the Rockies had scored like 4 runs, and so now it was like going into overtime. And I was like, oh my god, I just left. And the Rockies ended up completely slaughtering the Giants. It was like 10-2. Like something happened after I left, and I didn't get to watch it. It was funny as I'm glad I left, because I would have probably been jumped walking to my car.
Probably.
It was such a bad slaughter.
Yeah.
And I'm all in my Rockies gear and everything.
I'll say those are the games where I feel like I'm really working. You know, when the A's are down 6 runs in the 2nd inning and it's like, okay, what are we going to do here? How are we going to have people have fun? That's the real challenge, and that's what I really love, is like really having a fun game when we lost, you know.
Very interesting.
Fans can leave and be like, that was really fun. And,
you
know, they don't really care about the score.
So why are you so passionate about DJing? Has this always kind of been your thing? I'm an audio guy. I grew up around audio. My dad's an audio guy. My grandpa's an audio guy. And so was, you know, the point is I grew up around this stuff. I mean, when I was old enough to walk, I knew what all the hi-fi was, and I was pressing buttons, and, you know, I got my first set of mics at, I don't know, 10 or 11, 12 years old, and, you know, built my first studio at 14. This is just what I know, right? And so is this kind of the same thing with you?
I'd say very similar. My dad did radio for 25 years, a morning show in Iowa, so I kind of grew up through it, met a lot of really cool people that not only DJ'd, but, you know, were on-air talent and kind of lived this life. So I kind of got into radio right around 2014, kind of after graduating.
So then you appreciate these mics then?
I really appreciate these mics.
Isn't that hilarious?
You can't hear anything when I touch the mic.
I know, it's incredible. Awesome. It's so incredible.
But I went to a wedding for one of my cousins, and the mic kind of cut out during one of the vows because they were in like a greenhouse. So it was kind of a pseudo indoor-outdoor situation. But like the look on everyone's faces when they couldn't hear the bride's freaking vows was really eye-opening, and it was also something that was like very achievable, and just preparation and good equipment can kind of avoid that situation.
Double equipment.
Yeah.
Equipment. Run 2 lapels.
Yeah.
Instead of run 1.
Yeah.
And you could tuck them both underneath whatever, and then if one does go out, you have 2 audio signals. It's not that hard.
And I a lot of times use a wired mic and just hide the dang cord. So you're not even noticing that it's there, but you've got this really solid, warm connection. So you're, you know, for those really important moments, you're hearing every single note and breath and everything like that.
Or you run one mic and then run a shotgun, and, you know, you run that from behind the, you know. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was really that. It was seeing it up close as a guest that was like, this could be done better. And then kind of just every other part of it, like whether it was the dance floor or the announcements of speeches or the grand entrance or just like those little things, really taking pride in making sure those are like movie quality, you know.
And everything is so different. I did a couple of weddings. I played music professionally for a number of years, and And I did a couple of weddings, and this is 20 years ago. And
Sure.
things are so different today.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to just stick you in a foyer and forget about you. And then if you want something to eat, you're on your own.
Well, and you had to bring like a bunch of records and stuff to
Well,
flip.
I would play. I would just play music. And
Yeah.
so I was just playing tracks, with my guitar.
Yeah. Got it.
But again, it was so different, and you had to lug in like all these huge speakers.
Yeah.
And it's just all so different.
Yeah, the
now.
digital world is incredible.
What are you running for speakers?
I've got two EV50s. They're white, electronic voice EV50s, and then I've got a smaller one that'll run for like a ceremony. That's an
Have you tried
EV30.
any of those Bose with the long skinny?
I had a JBL Eon 1 Pro. It just didn't have the same punchiness that I
just
kind of
didn't do
needed.
it,
Yeah. So these are really, really high quality speakers that I love, and I've used for, I don't know, 150, 200 weddings now. So they've been great. Yeah.
Very interesting. What types of clients are you looking for, man?
Yeah, I mean, the best weddings I do are when the couple kind of, when they have an expectation. I've done weddings where they're kind of like, we kind of need a DJ. We're kind of told we need the DJ, and they don't really care. Like, I'm not for you. If you really want an exquisite experience and an awesome dance floor and you know what you want, I'm going to match that. So I'm not going to come into every wedding like, this is what I do, this is what works. It's really, what do you want? How can I kind of accompany that and really, so the best clients are the ones that really have opinions and have real desires for their dance floor, for their speeches, that have a real, they care about the attention to detail. But I've done small weddings that have been excellent. I've done giant weddings. So, there's no real like good answer to that, I guess, as far as just, the clients need to be kind of,
They know what they want.
they need to know what they want. Yeah.
Now, what if they don't know what they want, but they've got the budget?
Yeah.
They want something that's just really over the top. I mean, are you able to sit down with them and say, okay, well, you know what? This is what I can do. Let me show you some video footage of some of the other stuff. And they're like, you know what? That looks cool. Let's do that.
That's a great question. I feel like a lot of times the couples don't know the questions to ask because they're getting married for the first time and they are meeting with the DJ for the first time. So a lot of what I do is education and kind of explaining things that what I do and what the wedding's going to look like and what their expectations are and, what the dance floor is going to look like. So yes, 100%. That they might not have a complete idea, but they know what they don't want, and they know they don't want the guy who's just going to show up an hour before, in a polo, like I'm always wearing a suit, always ready to go for these weddings, always.
And then you've got good gear.
Good gear goes a long way.
Yeah.
You're only as good as your equipment, but then just really knowing how to
You bring
be
doubles,
a person.
doubles of
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah. Doubles of everything. Always smiling, always got a timeline, always got like the emails printed out. Like I'm really old school in that way that like nothing's off my phone. Everything's printed out.
When I was doing live music, we had two of everything.
Yeah.
And so if something ever went out, you just I'll sort that out later.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's plug in.
And
let's go.
I've got multiple ways of like I've got a laptop, I've got turntables, I've got the iPads. Like I've got multiple sources that if one needs an update or whatever, then
the only time we ever had an issue in a radio show, we still have doubles of everything, but the only time we ever had an issue is we brought this guy who owned a funeral home.
Oh,
And as soon as he sat down, the chair broke, and then the cameras didn't work. So we went out to the car and grabbed the iPads, and the iPads didn't work, and then the mics weren't working, and then there was static. And I was like, "What juju did you bring in here, bro?"
One of those days. Yeah.
Well, it was just him, bro.
Yeah.
We never had a problem again. Only when we brought the corner in, It was like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, that's funny. That's so
good.
funny. Your history. So, how long have you been doing this now?
Really the better part of a decade. So I started DJing like in clubs and stuff really in 2017. But then kind of got into weddings really around COVID, when everyone was kind of rescheduling their weddings to get rebooked. I kind of took advantage of that. And since then I've done 40 to 50 every year. So I've really been doing this for a long time. And if it wasn't weddings, I've been playing music professionally for, a decade.
Are you a musician?
Not really. My family, dad is, brothers are. I've just always kind of been interested in playing music that's already been created,
Radio.
I guess. Yeah, radio and spinning and mixing, and kind of the consumer part of music, like, taking a song that I've heard and changing it, or, mashing it with another song.
Mashups.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I love doing that. Yeah.
David Schulte, SchulteSounds.com, 319-654-5440, 319-654-5440. Anything you want to add before we get out of here, man?
Just that I love California and looking forward to your phone call. And anyone who's needing a DJ, just reach out if you got questions. Love to hear from you.
What's your favorite thing so far in California? Your favorite everything in California?
I'm going to say the food. Which is kind of crazy, but I feel like the diversity of food and the quality.
Hard to get a bad meal.
It really
and what's
is.
funny about it is we bitch and moan about how bad the food is, and it's just because there's so much good food
everywhere you go. I mean, no matter what price you pay.
My mom lives in Nebraska, and she has to like go to Colorado to eat like Taco Bell. It's so funny,
bro.
man.
I get it. I'd say the food might be a hot take. The weather, the people, it's all great.
Yeah. California's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
dude. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
319-654-5440, 319-654-5440, SchulteSounds.com. David Schulte. Hey, thank you so much for being here, brother. And then, of course, if you're out at an A's game and you hear the announcer, that's this gentleman here. That's so cool. I would have opened with that, by the way.
Well, fair. So with the A's, there's an announcer, Amelia Schimmel, who's amazing. Mm-hmm. So with the River Cats, I'll be the announcer, or you'll hear me playing the music.
Yeah.
So when you hear a guy strike out and you hear "Sit Down, Be Humble" by Kendrick Lamar, that's me.
That's so funny. That's so good. All right, brother. Hey, thank you for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.